Once upon a time, in the heart of the vast and untamed African savanna, there lay a small, peaceful village called Okoro. The village was famous for its rich culture, breathtaking landscapes, and the wisdom passed down through generations. The elders of Okoro were known for their great knowledge of the ancient ways and the spiritual practices that governed their land. Among the elders was a powerful and revered woman named Abena, known for her beauty, intelligence, and mystical connection with the spirits of the earth. It all began with the arrival of Nia, a woman from a neighboring village who married the chief of Okoro, a man named Ose. Nia was a beautiful woman, but her beauty was not what made her dangerous. She was a woman driven by ambition, thirsting for power and willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to climb higher in society. She came into the village with a hidden agenda to replace the Nzuri family as the spiritual leaders of Okoro. One fateful evening, Nia convinced Chief Ose to call for a council meeting, where she accused the Nzuri clan of practicing dangerous rituals that were threatening the balance of the village. She claimed that their ceremonies disrupted the harmony of the spirits and caused misfortune. The chief, confused and torn, reluctantly listened to her. Abena, the eldest of the Nzuri family, stood before the council, defending her family's traditions with unwavering courage. But the council, swayed by Nia's manipulations, rejected her plea. In a heartbreaking turn of events, the council voted to banish the Nzuri family from Okoro. As the Nzuri family wandered the harsh wilderness, Abena's heart burned with anger and pain. Her family had been cast out by the very people they had helped and protected. The betrayal by Nia and the council left her with a deep sense of injustice, and she vowed that one day she would return to Okoro and take her revenge. In the dark corners of her mind, Abena sought solace in the ancient rituals of her ancestors. She sought the guidance of the spirits who had long protected her family, and through her pain and sorrow she was granted immense power. The spirits, understanding her plight, bestowed upon her the ability to control the very forces of nature. The wind, the fire, the earth, and the water all became her allies. Months passed, and the Nzuri family made their home in a remote village at the foot of a mountain, hidden from the world. Abena, with her newfound powers, had become a force to be reckoned with. Her healing abilities had grown stronger, and the villagers she had helped began to speak of her in hushed, reverent tones. Yet in her heart, Abena still burned with the need to return to Okoro and reclaim her family's honor. One day, the winds whispered her name. It was time. With a heavy heart, Abena gathered her children and made the long journey back to Okoro. They traveled in secret, avoiding the watchful eyes of Nia and the village. They arrived under the cover of darkness, and Abena stood at the edge of the village, her gaze fixed on the familiar land that had once been her home. Our dramatic council meeting set under the vast African night sky, illuminated by flickering torches. The chief, Ose, sits on a carved wooden throne, his expression conflicted, while Nia stands confidently beside him, subtly manipulating the situation. Abena, wearing traditional Nzuri attire, stands before the council with defiance in her eyes, her hands raised in a passionate plea. The other council members, dressed in ceremonial robes, exchange uncertain glances. The surrounding villagers, hidden in shadows, observe silently with expressions of doubt and fear. The tension in the air is palpable. The Nzuri family walking through the savannah under a blood-red sunset, their figures silhouetted against the horizon. Abena leads the way, holding her daughter Mirembe's hand, while Kofi carries their son, Kwame, on his back. Their expressions are a mix of sorrow and determination, In the distance, the village of Okoro fades into the shadows, a reminder of the home they have lost. The wild landscape around them is both beautiful and foreboding, with tall grasses swaying in the evening breeze and distant mountains looming under the crimson sky. A mystical ritual deep in a moonlit forest, where Abena kneels before an ancient stone altar covered in glowing tribal markings. The surrounding trees seem alive, their twisted roots and branches forming an eerie protective cocoon. Wisps of ethereal light float in the air, and the spirits of the ancestors appear as translucent figures, their forms radiating both power and sorrow. Abena's face is illuminated by the soft glow, her expression a mix of anguish and determination as she places her hands on the altar, her connection to the spirits solidifying. A peaceful, hidden village, nestled at the base of a towering mountain, surrounded by lush greenery and cascading waterfalls. Abena and her family are shown tending to the villagers, who are dressed in vibrant, traditional attire. Abena is healing a sick child using a mix of herbs and spiritual energy, her aura glowing faintly. In the background, Kofi is seen building a shelter, while Mirembe and Kwame play near the waterfalls, their laughter adding a moment of lightness to the scene. The setting feels both serene and sacred. Abena standing atop a cliff overlooking the savannah at dusk, her figure framed by a dramatic sky painted in hues of gold and violet. Her traditional attire flows in the wind as she raises her arms toward the heavens. Ethereal spirits swirl around her, their forms merging with the elements: wind, fire, water, and earth. The scene exudes power and foreboding, as if nature itself is answering Abena's call. The distant village of Okoro can be faintly seen on the horizon, shrouded in an ominous mist.